There we go. I remembered to unmute. Whew. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Teresa with Keep in Touch Crafts, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, independent demonstrator from Minnesota. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We have a project that is going to be very productive. It might take a little time, but hopefully it'll all make sense to you, and this is just a great way to get your stash totally replenished for your cards that you have at home. So you're going to be able to get the supplies. I don't know if you saw that I had them up on my Facebook page, but if not, I'm going to be explaining that as we go through. The title of this is called Pick Six Wonder, and this was something that was shown to the demonstrators on a Facebook Live, I believe, through Stampin' Up! So they had showed us this, and it was something that I thought would be a great idea for customers, patrons, people who are crafters, who, if you are really wanting to get a bunch more cards made for you to have on hand at home. You could do this with Christmas cards, birthday cards. You could, it's just a great way to beef up what you have. So welcome, and we'll be getting started on that very soon. I'm going to check and see if anybody's saying hey yet. I think I did a typo. I put a pick sick, S-I-C, instead of six, S-I-X. I'll have to go back and fix that later. So anyways, I first wanted to show you, last week I had talked about a promotion going on right now, and it is called Hey Mary, thanks for tuning in. This promotion is just giving people extra incentives for joining Stampin' Up! And being part of the team. And then last week I was telling you about you can get a free bundle to go along with what you'd normally pick out. You pick out $99, I'm sorry, $125 worth of products, whichever you want out of the catalog. You get it for $99, free shipping. You get a free paper pumpkin as well, that kind of thing. And then they're also offering a bonus right now for you can choose a bundle. And so I was going to show you. I'm on. How about that? Hey, Sindra. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming on. So I'm going to get this little spiel out of the way, and then Cindy, this might be something you would enjoy doing too if you want. This is going to be a way to take 6 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. So you choose 6 of them from one paper pack, and then you get like 14 bases ready, just the standard card bases that match that paper set. And I'm going to show you a way to make a whole bunch of cards in a short amount of time. And we're going to be cutting up that 6x6 paper in a certain way, and it has layouts and that kind of thing. And then that way all you need to do is embellish if you want, and if you have your own stamp set at home, you can add the sentiments that you want, that kind of thing. But I'm just going to show you how to construct the actual cards and the card bases, you know, to have all of that ready. So that's what we're going to be working on. Before we do that, I just wanted to show those people here. This was that what's going on right now. If you do get a free bundle, and I wanted to show you what the bundle is. So I have that ready, I think, here. Yes, right here. So I'm going to make this a little larger, and this shows you if you would join, oh my goodness, that's the wrong direction. Sorry about that. I want it bigger. Here we go. So it's Celebration, and these are the choices that they have right now for the different bundles you can choose. You can choose one of the bundles, and that's a really good deal because they're about, you know, roughly $50, $40, $50 value. So those are the different choices that you can choose if you do join my team. So Cindy's part of that, and anybody else who's interested, let me know. I'd be happy to help you out with that. And this is going on. Oh, it doesn't say right here. I'll have to get that for you guys. Sorry. Okay, back to me. Yikes. So I'm going to get the supplies together for this. I have made a couple of different sets using this method, and then I also have a couple that I'll be trying to do at the same time. We'll see how it goes. I just don't want it to be confusing. And so feel free to ask questions. I'll try to keep my eye on that. Feel free to do screenshots, that kind of thing, and see if that helps. So while I'm getting everything, I'm going to put my camera down and I'm going to show you the cutting guide for the 6x6 Designer Series paper. And again, what I would recommend is getting paper from one paper pack so that it kind of all, matches and that kind of thing, same color scheme. And then we're going to be cutting that down and putting it on card bases so that you'll be able to have a stash at home. Okay, so here is the cutting guide and that kind of thing. I'm going to put the camera down while I gather everything. So what I'm showing you, this is a 6x6 piece of Designer Series paper, and we are going to be cutting these pieces to get 4 different styles of cards. And you can have your 6x6 pieces of paper be all different from the same paper pack. They can all be the same. You can have half and half. Whatever you choose to do will work. So I'll show you what I've brought in. So I have I have 4 paper clips. What I do is I cut it and then I mark the little packets of paper as 1, 2, 3, 4, and that kind of thing, and you will be using those in a little bit. So I'm going to be demonstrating how to cut your paper, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets from one paper pack. And just remember that the back side has a whole nother set of colors and choices as we go about these cards. So this is the color palette of the paper, one of the sets of paper that I've chosen, and it is from, the set of paper is called Beauty of the Earth. It's from our regular catalog, our annual catalog. And I'm also choosing Whimsy and Wonder. So I also have enough stuff kind of prepped for another set that has a completely different color scheme, I guess. And that is a new one that's just come out. And I have all of my pieces cut for that. But so I have both going on at the time. I'm going to see if I can do them both at the same time. I might not be able to. And then so I'll just maybe do 2 of them one another time, but I wanted you to see that. Yeah, so I have my pieces all cut in the sizes we need, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Looks like I'm missing 1, right? So I have 2, 3, and 4, and I need to find 1, which should be right here. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is what I would suggest if you happen to have some paper clips or something around. You may want to grab that if you have some Post-it notes. That might be another option for you. But what you do is get those 6x6 pieces of paper and just kind of have them in a stack. Grab your trimmer, and if you don't have a trimmer, it might be a little tougher, but I think you'd still be able to do it. It's just going to be quite a bit different, but I'm going to just show you using our trimmer here. Okay, so I just hope you can see that all right. It looks like you should be able to. So for our first cut, you want to keep your things kind of in order. It doesn't really matter like the color or whatever, but we want to keep them kind of organized so that we can keep them in our piles of the like sizes. So I usually cut, a couple at a time. I'll just do 2 at a time. And the first cut that I'm going to make is, and I have the actual dimensions here. So if you want to screenshot this, you can do that as well. It has the actual measurements on it. Hopefully you can see that okay. So our first cut is going to be right down here, and that is in 2.5 inches. You can see that up here too. So we're going to make one cut at 2.5 inches, and then that's going to give us this panel. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to cut 2 at a time. You do want to look at your paper and see if any of it has a direction of the pattern on it, and have it kind of, maybe some of those, just make sure they're facing the right direction. Most of mine is just random, except, well, this one is kind of, I don't think it'll matter really, but mainly it's this one that has a direction. So I am just going to make sure I keep that going the right way. So grabbing the first two, and we were saying that's at 2.5 inches. So on my trimmer, I'm going to put this edge at 2.5 inches. I want to make sure these edges are the same and nice and together. And at 2.5 inches, I am going to make the first cut. And then I'm going to put these, just take it off and put it over on the side and leave it in those same piles. So then we're going to get the next two, same thing, cutting it at 2.5. If you have a piece of DSP around you right now, you could even just cut one of them as a pattern. Or it doesn't have to be DSP either. It could just be a regular piece of cardstock, just so that you can like kind of take the notes on that. So again, this is 2.5 inches in. And we'll be cutting card bases very soon. But now I have these two stacks, okay, like that. So the next cut I am going to make is going to be, I'm going to go up from the bottom, up 2.5 inches. So we did go 2.5 inches in. Now we're going to go from the bottom 2.5 inches up. So keeping them in that same direction. And we do it on both of them. So I'm going to start with my short stack. And I'm going to be cutting up 2.5 inches. So I'm going to rotate them like this. And I'm going to take and do two at a time again. So I'm going to need two. And we're going at 2.5 inches. So we're looking at the trimmer, putting that on 2.5, and then again taking this and just keeping it the way it is. And we have two more, 2.5. It kind of seems sort of confusing while you're doing it, but after you've done it a time or two, it starts to make sense, and then you'll kind of get the hang of it a little bit more. And so we have 2.5, okay? So these, we have this 2.5 inch cut. Now we're gonna, this wider section, we're gonna go up 2.5 inches as well. All right, so let's take these wider ones and turn them sideways. We're gonna go up 2.5 inches. So we're keeping it all 2.5 right now. 2.5, set it aside, keeping those piles, and 2.5. All right, and one more set, 2.5 inches up. All right, so now we have, this is cut away, and this, okay? So what we're going to do now, you have this section right here is, you know how we had it like this. We cut these out. So this is card number 1. So go ahead and take one of your Post-it notes and a paper clip and go ahead and mark it like number 1. Okay. And then I need to figure out where I put my paper clips. Okay, so this is my stack for my card number 1, which was here. Even though that color doesn't show up very well, it says design 1. Or this is the same thing. This is our first one. Now we're going to take this second section that was right above that one, and it looks like this. Okay, this area. We're going to cut this in half, and to do that we're cutting it at 1 3/4 inches, and that's going to be cutting it in half. So I'm rotating it, and we're going to cut this at 1 3/4 inches, and that's going to give us 2 equal sized pieces of Designer Series paper. You can go ahead and put those together, and you can see they're the same size, and we'll do that a couple more times here. And we're keeping in mind 1 3/4. Okay, set them aside. One more stack. 1 3/4. All right. Oops, scoot it a little bit. All right, there we go. And so you have a little pile now of, if you put them all together, they're actually, I should tell you the size. These are each 1 3/4 by 2.5. And so we'll put a number 2 on those. And paper clip that together. And I know it's sort of odd right now, but it pays off because you'll be amazed at how many cards you get done in a short amount of time. Okay, this is stack number 2. Now we have left that far right section that was here, okay? Or I guess if you see this one, 3 and 4. Now we have this one and then this one. We need to cut off this thinner strip off of this. So you have the narrow ones at the bottom and this little taller panel at the top. This is already fine. We need to cut off a strip of this. So the top one here, you're going to turn it to the side and we're going to cut off a strip that is 3/4 of an inch. So we're just cutting off 3/4 of an inch off of the bottom of this larger square. Okay. All right, so we're going to 3/4 of an inch this time. And we're cutting, oops, that was my scoring blade. And again, we're just kind of keeping those piles, and I'm going to set it aside. Three-fourths. It's just a little strip, basically. All right, set it aside, and one more. I wonder if they're square. 3.5 by 3.5. Yeah. Right now they're square, so as long as your direction is okay, it doesn't really matter. You know, if you forget and think, oh no, did I turn it? Which one is it? But just 3/4 of an inch, not too critical on, you know, exactly where, which edge you're cutting it off of. So now these, this small thin strip that you cut off, that was 3/4 of an inch, it goes on with this one. So I'll just show you how this was. This is how we had this panel over here. So we have 3, 3, and 4. So take this thin one and this bottom one, and this is for card number 3, so put Post-it note number 3 on here. Okay, and then paper clip them together so that they stay together. And then you have this last one is stack number 4. Okay. Okay, so we have our cutting of our designer series paper pieces done for the most part here. Next, we want to do our card bases, and what that means, you know, it just is the part that we're going to be putting all of our card pieces onto. So if you're starting with 8.5 by 11 pieces of cardstock, you're going to need 7 of them. You can do them all the same color, all different. You just want them to coordinate with your project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock that coordinates with my paper. Whatever paper you happen to have, just make sure it your pattern paper goes along with this. And you could do all white if you want, or you know, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have. But I do want to give you a little bit of a tip for cutting. We're going to cut all of these in half. We have 7 sheets. That's going to give us 14 card bases. But one thing that can help is to score first and then cut. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. We're going to score it all the way down the middle. So if your 8.5 side is up to the top of your scoreboard or the top of your trimmer, you probably need a trimmer, I guess, on this one. We are going to put it at 4 1/4, which is the halfway part. and you don't want to cut it with this blade. You're just going to score. So let's score on 4 1/4, and you can either go through and score them all at once and then cut them all at once, or you can score and cut each one that way. But so score the long way at 4 1/4, and then if you turn it, we're going to cut it in half at 5 1/2. So at 5 1/2, we're going to cut. And the reason that's nice is then now we have 2 card bases that are already scored, okay? So it just saves you 1 step. You don't have to do it that way, but it does help it go a little bit quicker. So let's go ahead and get those card bases scored and cut. The hard part is to not cut right here because it's easy to forget and just accidentally go ahead and cut it there, which is not the end of the world, but we're trying to get our card bases and to save time, so that kind of doesn't help if that happens, right? So again, the long way, like I said, if you're concerned you're not going to score on them all and cut all properly, feel free to score them all at once and then cut them all at once if you're thinking you might be able to remember it. Whoops, sorry. Not make a mistake a little easier that way. I'm going to challenge myself. That's kind of dangerous. All right, score at 4 1/4. Cut at 5 1/2. Score at 4 1/4. I'm going to be a broken record here. But if I don't tell myself, then I'm going to cut it. So I always say score at 4 1/4. Cut at 5 1/2. Okay, we're getting there, guys. This is a bit tedious, I know, but you're going to be amazed at how many cards you're going to get done in this one session of card making. What Pick Six Wonder. I do not know why they call it that, but that's what the Stampin' Up! People called it when they demonstrated this to us. So I have 2 more left. Okay, score at 4 1/4. And see, I almost cut it. Score and then cut. Yikes. Shouldn't be that hard, but after a day of working, who knows. 1 more. I hope this isn't just like too slow and tedious and boring. I'm trying to really show it and help you to understand what's going on, but I also don't want it to be too long and boring, but 5 1/2 is my cut. Hope I did them all right. Okay, let's see if they're all the same. Yep, looks like it. So those are our card bases for all of our cards. Yeehaw. Okay, now we got to start assembling. Now, there's no one set way to do these. You're going to be able to kind of do a little trial and error with your patterns, with your paper, what you want to use. You know, it's just going to be, it's kind of interesting to see how different things play together, that kind of thing. So sometimes you'll go back and say, oh, I wish I would have had it a little different or whatever, but that's kind of part of the fun, is like, what are you going to come up with, right? So keep your card bases nearby so that you can grab one. We are going to first start with doing our first layout of cards. And the first one is called, they call it cubes. And you're going to go ahead and pull in your paper that you have for card number 1. Now this one makes 3 cards, so we need 3 card bases. So I'm just going to do a brown, a green, and a yellow. And we are going to be making 3 cards with these that you cut first. Okay, so you have a bunch of squares, and this is kind of a cool design how this works. You're going to make a cut on these, and I think most of the others don't have any other cuts, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slit from the center into the center on just right here. Okay, we're not going to put it here, anywhere else. Right edge in the middle to the middle. And so how we do that is, what I'm going to do is grab a pencil, and I'm going to make, so remember, kind of keep in mind with your paper where you're going to be marking. I'm going to be kind of marking in that area. It might be easier to do it actually on this back side. I might be able to see it better. So I know that I want to find the middle of this right edge. So the middle, it is a 2.5 inch square. So the middle is going to be at 1 1/4. So I'm putting my square at 1 1/4, and I'm marking that edge. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slit in, and we have a mark right here on the trimmer that says 1 1/4. So that tells us how far down to go. So let me just, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit easier for you to see, but I'm gonna mark on my trimmer at that spot just so you can kind of see where that is, and actually so I can see it too from further away, because normally I'm looking at it closer. So I'm gonna mark where it says 1 1/4. All right, which is right about there. Okay, and then I'll just take that off when I'm done. So again, we're going to be taking that edge. Where did I write the mark at? Oh, I have a little mark right here. All right, so at 1 1/4, I'm going to go down. I'm going to put my blade up here. Whoops, that didn't work. It's in the way. Put my blade at the top. 1 1/4, and I'm going to cut down. You can't see it. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm cutting, this line is going to match up with that 1 1/4. So I have it in the middle, 1 1/4, and I cut down to 1 1/4. Okay, so I'm lining that up. And that's all it does is make a slit. Okay, that's all we're doing is make a slit in the middle to the middle on the right side. Okay, so again, I'm keeping them all in the same direction that I had them. I want to mark and cut here, so I'm going to put that up 1 1/4. Put our blade up to the top and pull it down to 1 1/4. Okay, that one's done. And I think I can actually maybe do a couple at a time. So you just, again, remember the side that you want cut, you're going to move that up. And 1 1/4. As long as these are staying together, that's the hardest part. These two layers here. And pull it down to 1 1/4. Okay, I'm going to back up the camera a little bit. So you can still see, but yet you're not like too close. So that's a couple more layers done. And where are my others here? Okay. And I'll do one more. Cutting here, so I'll put it up 1 1/4. Okay, so now we have these squares all cut with a slit. There's one that doesn't seem to be, oh, there we go. I didn't put it in the right direction. Make sure they're all going the same way, just so that you'll be able to get them, you know, go in the right direction here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of a focal point for the card. And this is going to take, you're going to take 2 squares, and you're going to end up using all 4 sides. So keep that in mind. Your front and your backs are going to be showing. So think about how they go together. So the colors, you might, like, maybe I could have used blue. Maybe that would look better. Or I'm going to start by kind of putting them so the back side, I can see one side. One side usually is more busy than the other. And all I'm doing is seeing which items are going to go together well. So I think these have blue in it, and they're the only ones that do. Let me see if these do. Actually, that has a little blue. I'm just kind of pre-planning my card. So I think these two are going to go together. And again, look at the sides. So I'm going to have blue showing and this side showing. So I'm going to have those two together. And then I'm going to have, oh, these are all going to go together well, I think, with all four sides. This is a real busy one, and this is kind of busy. So maybe I'll go here. I don't know how this will look. So that's the fun of it, right? Is just kind of wondering what you're making. What you do then is you're putting the slits together like so. So then you have this kind of a funky looking thing. And then you're going to take your opposite sides and you're going to fold them over. So that you can see the back side of the other one. I don't know if that makes sense. Oops, I thought I had gotten it nice and square, but I hadn't. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this one back as well, like this. Now this one, I don't know if it's my favorite at all because it just looks like a big mess. But these are going to be the focal point. You could look at the back, but that one doesn't show as much. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, what we just did, but we maybe I want to change this around. I don't know. I could go like this with it. See what that looks like. Okay, so we're putting the slits together, and then you're just kind of seeing how this looks to when you fold it back. So I would fold that one back, and I would fold this one back. Oh, I kind of like that a lot better, so that I have opposite patterns. So just try that then. See what you like better. This is definitely how I'm going to have this one go. So what you're doing, and we're going to be doing 3 cards, remember. Put them together in a nice stack with those slits together, and then fold back those 2, and then we're going to be gluing that all together. Okay. All right. So I'm going to glue down. I'm going to use my Tombow liquid adhesive, just a little bit there. You're also going to be probably needing to glue on this back panel too to get that to hold together. But once you get things kind of stuck together, it'll make a little more sense too, hopefully. We can try. Okay. I just don't like that this is not as square as I would like it to be. And so here, this one I'm going to fold back, and we're making that 4 square type of a focal point. Okay. And it's just basically to have those colors all showing, that kind of thing. And then glue down all those. You're just going to have a square of colors of cubes, basically. Okay? So this is going to be what my focal point looks like for this one. And now I need to make the other 2. So here's one down. And again, to decide how you want it, take them, put them together, the slits together, and then kind of just gently fold back your the flaps that are on top. So this one would go like that, and this one would go like this. And then you decide if you like that. Like, to me, that's a little crazy busy, so I'm going to try flipping it over, see if that makes a difference. And then I'll try putting that one back and this one back. And I think this is probably going to be just a real busy one, because this paper has a lot of pattern on both sides. So that's why I think that is happening. So this maybe wouldn't be my first choice normally, but you never know. It can look cool in the end. okay, whatever. I guess that's how this one's going to be. All right, so time to get gluing. So I'm going to start by gluing, putting a little here. Just matching up that corner really well. And we'll repeat that. Okay, then so on that opposite corner, a little bit of glue. And this, the Tombow, you know, it just takes a couple minutes or seconds, I guess, probably to grab, which is nice because you can kind of slide it around to get it placed properly. So now these are the tabs I'm going to fold over and glue. If you have a bone folder, that might make a little bit nicer crease for you. So just put it in place and match up those corners, and then right where it's how you want it, then just go ahead and crease that down. Little glue, again repeating. Match up those corners. Glue it down. And then I can give it a press over here to get that glue to grab on as well. Okay, there's 2 down. One more. Now this will be interesting to see. It's very similar paper, very similar backgrounds on the back, but not exact. So I think I might like it this way because it's going to show the blue background on opposite corners. Yep. Okay. Hopefully you're coming okay here and it's making sense, guys. It's kind of like we also have done something called mystery stamping, where you don't know what you're making and you're just given the supply list and you kind of just sort of see how, and someone leads you through it, of course, but reminds me of that because you're just not sure what you're doing. You're scoring and you don't know why and that kind of thing. And so it kind of reminds me of that. It's kind of a fun adventure. You just don't know what you're doing, what's gonna come out. All right, we're putting that edge down, and it doesn't want to fold where I want it to, but I am gonna win that battle. Ooh, lots of glue. Ooh. All right, one more. And then this focal point part is going to be done. Okay. So, there's that. Now, if I want, I might need to trim. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay. So, here we go. This is going to be our first 3 cards. And basically, we're going to be adding, you can add your sentiment and a little bit of bling in a bit. But let's pull in, I'm going to actually use a white instead, I think, for one of these. And you're just going to be putting your focal point on like so. And then when we're done and we have everything put together, that's when you come back and you put on a sentiment. You can decide if you want some kind of a ribbon and some sequins. So right now I'm just going to do the basic constructing, and then we can add a little more in a bit. Like at the end we'll kind of fancy stuff up. So for this one I'm just going to try to put it in the center. I just usually put them up from center just a little bit so that I have room for a sentiment or a bow or something like that later when I add that in. Just trying to find the middle of my card here. What I like to do is use like grid paper, but now I got glue on there, so that's not good. We will kind of estimate here. All right, I'm going to go about like that. And it is good to have your ruler, that kind of thing, just to kind of keep an eye on making sure it's not, kind of kittywampus, as they say. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. I wonder if I have any grid on the back. Or I can fold it over, because I got a little glue on where I don't want it, and that's not making it cooperate well. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go backwards like this. Okay. And again, we have 2 more here that we're going to do. It's nice to, when you fold it on that score line you made, you can give it a nice crease with your bone folder. That helps it look a little bit better too. Now, this one I did vertical, but you can do it horizontally as well. So just for fun, you can do a different one horizontally. You don't have to do them all the same. But just kind of be thinking what you might want on there a little later. And just kind of look at it and make sure it looks kind of straight. Excuse me. Still getting over a little cough here. There's 2 and 1 more. I don't know, I guess I'll go this way with this one. You do what you like. All right, so there are these cards, this first design done. So I'm at least constructed, not decorated, of course, but this is your base for your card. Now we'll work on number 2. So grab your number 2 squares, and this one is really outside of my normal comfort zone. It makes 4 cards, so bring in 4 card bases. And the way this one is made is like, this is why it was kind of fun for me, because I totally made cards in a way I never normally would, which I thought was kind of cool. And so when I was doing this first one, or the second one here that we're going to be working on, I kept thinking, that is going to look ridiculous. But when it was all done, it looked kind of cool. So what we're doing then is we are going to do, we're going to take 3 for each card. Okay, so get your number 2 pieces and just kind of lay them out. You're going to have 12 pieces here. And again, remember that you have the other side. So if you want, you're going to have doubles of each one. So flip the second one over, and that's going to give you a little bit more of an idea. We're getting groups of 3. And so think of your card base, your card bases as well, and that kind of thing. So we're kind of just going to plan it out a little bit. All right, so these are this is my array of colors, and so what I'm going to do is pick 3s to go together. Now you can do these horizontally and vertically as well. Let's see here, I'm just kind of looking horizontal. So let's say you want to do a horizontal card. Well, first thing I'm going to do is get the groups together. So let's say with this one, what goes well with that? Well, I think this goes fine with it, and then I could go with, I could do a green, and I could have this in the middle. So there's one of my trios. Then I know the blues are going to be a little bit of a challenge probably. So maybe I'll go blues like that. Then I have this left. I think I'll go, let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, right? Because remember, if you don't like something, check on the back and see if you'd like, maybe you'll like that better. So maybe I'll go, let's see, I'm going to try that for one, I guess. Not sure if I'm thrilled with it. And the last one then, I don't, maybe the brown would be good. Well, I'm going to do something like this. Maybe that. I don't know. Okay, we'll see. But there's our groups of 3. So you can just kind of have them in those groups and then pull in your card bases, and we are going to put these on our cards. And the thing that's different about this they're not straight. You put them on, so if I'm going to do this one horizontally, you kind of put them on like, you know, like so, going different directions and overlapping. And like this one, there's no right or wrong. So let's say I choose on this one, maybe I want to go like that and go like this. Or maybe you want to do it this direction and go, this is kind of what I saw a lot of people doing, kind of like this. And they're not straight, they're not, you know, they're just sort of free form. And it's, like I said, this is not my normal style of cards to do it that way, but I tried it just because that's what we're instructed to do, and I actually really liked it when it was done. I shouldn't give you a sneak peek, but like here's one example. Okay, see how they're like kind of kitty wampus? Yes, they're decorated more, but just so you see that there is potential, right? That's just one example. I have more to show later, but kind of keep that in mind when you're planning this out. So I want this one to show the most. I'm going to put these down first. Just do a quick glue. Again, these are not going to be on here perfectly, like all square. If you want to do that, go for it. You can. So like, let's say this one I put here. And I'm kind of doing this one a little bit straighter, just so you can know that you can do it however you want. And I'll put this one on about like that. Want the glue to grab here. But this one I might kind of go a little crooked. Don't need a lot of glue there. I hope this is looking okay. Oh, thanks, Cindy. Yeah, this is really out, like I was saying earlier, out of my comfort zone. But you can kind of take your time and kind of plan ahead a little. This is not what I'd normally ever do on a card, but it's fun how they kind of come out in the end. So there's one. Next one, we'll do a green. Maybe this one I'll go horizontal. I really like that one. And so I want that one to kind of show the most. I kind of might do, I'm going to just go corner to corner on this one. I have a bunch of samples to show you later too, just so you can see. Just some ideas, and I'm just one person who's kind of done a few things. Everyone who does this makes them different. No rules, and sometimes that's hard, right? We always want to know now exactly how do we do this, but you just do it and let it go. And then no matter what you do, you can say, I meant to do that. I meant it to be that way. Okay, I'm going to put this one here. This one's a little bit more, again, square and stuff. It's hard for me to not do things square, so that's number 2. And we'll go 3. Is there any yellow in this one? I hope so. Okay. I'm going to do the Kitty Wampus one that they had before. Like something like that. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to go 2. I like to have the middle one on top. That's just me, but I notice I tend to do that. And this one, these are kind of some watercolor trees, but they're sideways. It doesn't matter. You won't really even notice them. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll set that aside to dry. Oh no, I just slid it. So I'm going to have a big smearlap of glue. So I pressed too hard, and then my adhesive, my glue was still wet. And so the whole thing slipped, and I have a big thing of glue on there. but I'll be able to get it off. But I just want to show you, if you're not careful, like I apparently wasn't, that can happen. It can slide a little bit. And the fourth of this number 2 design. So I've done 2 horizontals. Well, this one could be either one, so that one wouldn't really matter. This one I'm gonna do, I don't know. Doesn't have a lot of brown on that, so I'm not digging it too much, so I'll hide that one a little more. Maybe just the brown on top, and then when my message or whatever will show there. Okay. Kind of reminds me of fall colors on this one. Not that fall is even close at all yet. It's really far away, right? Yikes. Okay, last one on this one. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, that's our second style of cards. Let's get our third. Pull in your number 3s. And this one, let's see how many card bases we need for it. Here it is. Okay, for number 3, okay. We are going to use and make 3 of them. So, all right. So let's go ahead and keep that in mind that we're going to be doing 3. And this one is a little bit more of a structured layout. You're going to have 2 designs on each card, and then 2 designer series paper, and then you're going to have one of these thin strips that is going to just be in the center of the 2 patterns to kind of, they call it a belly band because it's just sort of in the middle, but what you can do is start laying them out, different patterns. So you're going to have 2 of the larger ones and 2 of the smaller. I'm sorry, 1 belly band and 2 of the rectangles. So you can be mixing and matching to see what you like. And again, look at the back. I don't have much blue, so I don't really want a lot of blue. I should have made blue bases too, maybe. What do I like? Kind of like that green that's plain. I like the brown that's plain. So maybe I'll have a green like this. I kind of like that on the top. You can do it, again, however you want. Just find a way to mix and match to get some colors the way you like them. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Okay, I'll go like that. So these are going to be my 3 card fronts, and then I'm going to use just some of these. Actually, you only need 3 of them, and you have 6, but we're going to save them for something else, so don't throw away the extra. But these are the you need 3 of these for the cards, just to kind of go in the middle to separate the 2. So again, check each side, see what you like as that divider piece. And I don't know yet what I want. Just kind of mix and match. And we have extras, so that's kind of nice. Boy, that's a bit wild. Maybe. I don't know. This one I'm having a little trouble getting it how I want it. This very busy pattern on that one. So I could do a white card base then and show the blue maybe. But I don't know, I kind of like this. So I'll just use this one on the right with a white card base, and then I think the blue will be all right. Take these 3 extra slips, and we're going to do something with those in a minute. But now we can assemble our 3 cards. So I know that I want a card base that's white with this one, and then just determine your others, what matches the way you want. Maybe go brown with that, and a green. Okay. Still leaves me a good variety of colors. I still have one of each color left, but it doesn't matter. They can all be the same or different or whatever. So now we're going to put these 3 together. Crease your center, and then depending on how you have them laid out, usually I tend to be kind of vertical with the layout, but you can do them horizontally as well. And then keep in mind you would have something else to maybe cut across the center. It could be a sentiment. It could be a ribbon that goes across that way. So you can decide if you want them all to go a certain direction or not. So this was my white, I think. So there's plenty of room around the outside border edge of this. I don't want these in the way to kind of confuse you. So you're going to put a top one on, you're going to put a bottom one on. You can overlap them if you want it to be a different size border. Or you could, you know, whatever you want to do, you could even go to the very top and the very bottom and then have this cover that little area, whatever you choose. I tend to kind of keep them similar. And so they, even if they overlap, that center belly band will kind of hide that. Alrighty. One panel. Two. And then I'm putting it, cutting it in half with the blue, just to kind of break that up a little bit. This is pretty wild, pretty busy pattern on this one, but so I'm trying to be careful to not have it be like, look like a train wreck. But once you do the rest of the finishing too, that makes a big difference. Okay. And we'll make our other 2 then for this layout. This one I'm just going to do it horizontally just to make it, just to do something a little different. I like to have a variety, so depending on like sentiments or whatever, depending on how long they are, you can get them to work, you know, in on different layouts. So I kind of like to mix it up so I have a variety of choices. Okay. And then I'll break up that center with my belly band. So there is that one more. And I've noticed it really looks different from on the camera and on the screen to what I see. So it really does make a difference. Like it looks a lot different to me than it does on when I look at the screen, I'm thinking, yikes, doesn't look that good together, but in person it looks okay. So I don't know why that difference is, but all right. So here is the last one for this layout. And this was number 3. And again, we'll be adding more goodies to this. You can embellish it in lots of different ways. This is kind of like the constructed beginning for that one. Let's do one, let's see. Number 4 makes, okay, so you're going to pull in your number 4. Now, these 3 extra belly bands from this third one, set them aside because we are going to use them. So don't throw them. So keep those little extras there. And then for this last one, the layout, okay, what they say to do is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, is to hand make your own like heart. I'm going to take a look at a sample just to kind of show you what I mean. So what you're going to do is find your number 4 pieces. I'm going to set these 3 aside. And all right. We are going to cut remaining section half. Oops. Number 4. They call it a heart card for this one. We have 6 pieces. 3 of them are going to be for the background, and then we are going to be making hearts out of the other 3. Okay, so you're going to be cutting a symmetrical heart. I cheated and used a punch, so if you have a heart punch, you might like that. Then you flip the mini heart. Okay, how do we do this? I'm going to try to find it. Okay, select 3 pieces for the background. Again, look at both sides, of course. Here we go. So, for example, this is kind of plain. If that's so, we have 3. Remember, you're probably not sure what we're even doing with them to be able to know yet what is going on. So let's go with, let's say that. And they are going to be on our card fronts. And probably like about like that. And then we're going to have a heart on there. I know it seems odd because like the last kind of heart, you wouldn't think of a heart. Now, one thing I've done, this is a different set of paper that I used. And I just punched it out and layered it here. And but like when they explain this to us through Stampin' Up, this is how they explained how to do this one. So what you do, I'll first make one like they would want you to make it, or not want you, but suggested. How's that? So you just take one of them and fold it in half and do like we used to do in school where we made a heart. And for those of us who have dies and punches, this probably wouldn't be how we would normally do it. But not everybody has that, right? So we are going to fold in half, cut the heart. Oh, I see. So just go ahead and make a regular heart, that kind of fills up a lot of it. Just like you used to do in, I want to say Mr. Johnson's class. I don't know. He probably didn't do as much for crafts like this. Cut it out. This is folded in half, remember. Alrighty. And again, I used a punch. If you have a punch, that works. So there's your heart. But then what we're going to do is we're going to factor in what's on the back. So we're going to cut another heart right on this one. So you're going to just kind of make a little border. About like so. Of course, that's super rough, but it's just supposed to look kind of whimsical and loose, I guess. You know, not like a real perfect, has a handmade kind of a whimsical look to it. So you do this and you do this. And you go like that. How's this? Okay, or you can do it the other way and do it like this. Okay, it just kind of fits right in there. And then that goes on your card, kind of like so. That just looks weird, but that's what you do. Okay, I don't know about this heart part. I just thought that was sort of different. And this is what you would be doing, is kind of doing something like that. I feel like this one looks too big. So I am choosing to maybe do a little bit smaller one in the middle and see if I can get that one to work. But since I cheated when they showed it to us, of course, then I haven't done that part before like this. Maybe that's better. I kind of think that's better. Have just that little guy in the middle. Do it however you want, whatever kind of heart pattern you like, that kind of thing. It's really unique, isn't it? All right. That's the gist of this one anyways. Not really loving the color combo on this. Of course, go ahead and make sure you erase all of your pencil marks. You don't want that showing. And I'm not going to even adhere this yet because I'm just not even really too sure about it. I'm also going to show you now, like if you have the punch, you can pull those in. And I think I might have, I wonder if I cheated on that. And, oh yeah, we have one that's the ruffled edge too. And that is, everything's falling. So we have the two that are similar sizes. These came together in a set. And so you would cut out the bigger one, the bigger heart first. So I think, I don't know. Let's try, I'll just do this. I'm going to cut out, punch out that, and then what you would normally do then is try to get this to cut out that center, which would be really kind of hard to do, but I'll try. The best thing is if you can't get it to reach right and you can't really hang on like you would prefer, then just use a Post-it note and then slide it in where you want it. And punch and hope that it looks okay. So that's not too bad. I think it's not a perfect border all the way around, but not bad. So that is another way to do it. I definitely prefer the punch look, but it's totally up to you, whatever you like. So I'm going to put this one on a base, and I think I'm going to use the brown here, and I'll go this direction. That would look good too, but I just kind of don't, I'm trying to avoid the clashing of colors and patterns. It's easy to do with this set. This is pretty bright. Okay, like that. Oh goodness, I gotta hurry up. Boy, sorry guys, this is running late. Past our bedtimes, right? Then we have that green heart. Oh, I think that's cute. And then that is going to go around it. Or we can do it the other way and have this white one with the green heart around it. Like so. And again, more decorating would be done. I don't know. I kind of tend to like the green heart. I don't know why. So I will do that. And you can just put it on kind of however, wherever you want. You can stamp a sentiment on there later if you want, or put some bling on it, whatever. So I want this white side to show, You could actually keep the same side out and then put the center up on dimensionals so that it pops up. In fact, maybe that one that I'm not really liking much, maybe I'll try that and see if that looks better. All right, there we are. That's not too bad. So that's a general look at this layout. So I could just kind of pop this up and out is what I was trying to explain, although the blue doesn't match at all, so that's bugging me. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to bring in a white card base for my third one just because I have so much blue. The blue is the one that doesn't quite go as much in this set as some of the other colors. They all tend to be more earth tones except the blue. So that one sort of jumps out at me here. I am going to do this one horizontal just to see if I can come up with something that looks cute horizontally. I do like this together so much more. Oh my goodness. That's so much better than the way it was, I think. And so I will go ahead and you could adhere it in the center, off to the side, wherever you want. Again, this is just very, you know, not set in stone. And sometimes that's fun, and sometimes it does get to be stressful because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. But just let yourself do it as it comes, and just enjoy the making, I guess. So I'm going to glue down. This is that hand cut one. And what I've decided then, I was trying to explain earlier, is I'm just going to put this a dimensional on it. And instead of using the back side, which didn't really go that well in my opinion, I'm going to just use that same center piece and just pop it up to have it kind of show a little bit better that way. So I don't know if you can see this very well, but it is popped up kind of. Yeah, I think that is better. So that's this one. We have one more, and then I'm going to show you what to do with those extra little belly bands that you had left over. I think I might do, oh, I like that. I like this color right there. But I'm only using one, right? Okay, so I think I'm going to punch again, since I like to cheat, you know. And then I'm going to pull in, again, I'm going to have a Post-it to be able to reach it into my punch. But it's not hard because you can watch what you're doing on the back. Try to guess where that even border would be. Not the best, but that's okay. I don't mind it too much. All right, let us get this going. Again, some colors I maybe wouldn't put together normally. All right. I like this color. This one has pretty colors, but yet this on the back has the yellow. That's kind of nice. I don't know what to do. Does this have yellow on this side? Not so much, but a little bit there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just wing it. 'Cause I like two sides of it. That's one thing about DSP. When you, every once in a while, you like two sides, and then it's a little tougher. And we'll go ahead and put a little dab of glue here and there on this frame. And I'm going to put it on. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do it that way, but that's what I did. I just kept the same side unintentionally. But it'll still kind of show a little bit. All right, so that is the construction of the pattern number 4. And you should have one card base left. And we are going to use this just to use up the little scraps that we had left on the belly band one. We had those 3 little bands left, and what we're going to do is cut them in half and flip them over and make a little DSP arrangement, I guess. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do then is bring in those 4 that are left over, and just to find the center, I'm folding them in half, and then I'm going to just cut on this little fold part. And do that for all 3. I have sticky fingers. One more. And then you are just going to take these 6 little rectangles and arrange them in a little grouping. I'm going to show you a sample of a different one that I did. See how they're just kind of all 6 together with a little bit of the black showing through. So this kind of gives you an idea of what to do, but you can make it either horizontal or vertical again, like before. So just look at both sides again and see, again, I need to not use I don't like the blue on there, so I won't have that side showing. This one could go either way, and this one is busy and doesn't have green on either side, but that's all right. Let's see, yeah, this one was horizontal, 3 up and down. Now you could do your similar ones back, right next to each other if you want. You could do it kind of like so. Or you could totally mix it up, and for some reason these got upside down. I don't want that. All right, so I am going to just kind of play with the layout a little bit. If I can flip some of them upside down, I'm going to, just to see what they look like. All right, yeah. All right, I'm going to go opposite corners with this matching set. I don't want the blue that's on the back, so I'm going to go down there. Then I'm going to go, I wish I had another green like that. I think that's maybe, I don't know yet. Could do this. Oh, I'm just making a mess. I don't know. Okay, so this wild layout is what I'm going to be using, I guess. Not what I would probably normally do, but that's okay. That's the point of this, is just to do something different. And we're going to glue those down. I'm going to start with the 2 center ones. Let's scoot these guys out of the way a little bit. And now you can be very precise and measure if you want to. You don't have to do that if you trust your eye. I'm kind of wanting to, have this done sometime today, so that's why I am going to just wing it for now, but probably normally I would do much, more measuring or use something else to help me make sure they're straight, like a ruler, that kind of thing, or a grid sheet. So we'll see if I can eye it okay. It's dangerous. But these are just little scraps, so it's amazing what you can do with small amounts too. They can make a big statement. I'm just trying to keep that the amount in the middle about the same for all of them, all the way around. And 2 more. And then as you're going to be embellishing these, you could add a bow and a sentiment, some gemstone type things too, whatever you want. You could add like a tree or something like that for a focal point. That would look really nice too. But what we're trying to do is keep it simple and use what you have. And when you have 1 pack of paper, that is what you have, and you may not have a lot more to go with it. And so you'll just, if we just go ahead and add, you know, the words, that kind of thing, and a little ribbon, and this is good to go. All right, so we have this one lone guy using up scraps. Then we had 3 heart cards. Okay, you could do whatever punch you want. You could do a tag or something. I think what they were doing was trying to not have to use things like punches. For some people, they could just, you know, cut it out. Everybody could do that. So I think the point was to keep it simple. And so that's that layout. Then we have the belly band layout. I think I need one. Oh, that must have been 3 for that one. Then we have the 3 panels, you know, those rectangle panels that were kind of kittywampus and all over. So these are just waiting to be finished and decorated. And then our first one was like this, remember? All right. Or we could do it this way too. So there are all of our 14 different card layouts that we did with 6 6x6 sheets of paper and 7 pieces of cardstock. Now all you have to do is finish them, and that really makes a difference, and you have a ton of cards. So use whatever sentiment stamps you have, and you'd be able to finish them off. I'm going to show you some that I've done in the past, and they're maybe not 100% completed, but they'll give you some ideas. So you can do this with other paper sets too. So this is, let's see, some of them that I've done. Just giving you ideas. They can be bright, they can be cheerful, they can be neutral, all different ways of doing the same thing. Seeing if I have any of the other diamond pattern ones. Yes. So here is some that I made kind of masculine cards out of. I lost my thread. I got to re-adhere that. But that's a start. Again, I haven't done sentiments yet on some of these because I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet. But I like to decorate the inside, especially if it's a darker cardstock. I like to have a lighter one inside. And then I also use that little bow tie stamp there. Waiting for some, well, glue dots apparently, on my twine. I did add some of those adhesive gem things on there too. Then I'll show you some of those kittywampus rectangles, right? So you can see it really makes a difference once you do finish them. And this one would need some rhinestones or something too. A little bit of ribbon and a sentiment there, and sending a smile your way. I do have a big set where you stamp a bunch of sentiments and then it cuts a bunch of them out, so then you can just have a stash excuse me, and then adhere them as you need them. Three more, like the 3 rectangles. And here's more of the masculine types. Looks like I had missed some of these. Now this one I had added some, sorry, I'm way off, added some foil and some gold gems. I bet it goes this way actually. Okay. And I kind of like to do a triple level or layer of the twine, wind it around, and then spread it out a little bit. So there's another masculine type. And then another 3 rectangles. Oh, I'm way up too high. Sheesh. So I'm just giving you ideas for finishing so that you can do that. I mean, that's going to have to be on your own, but you can, I'm trying to give you ideas so that you kind of know what to do with it. And then this is an example of those scrap pieces, the scrap belly band ones that I had put a sentiment on. And then we have, oh, here's 3 more of the wonkies. Alrighty, then I'm going to show you the layout that has the 2 of the larger with the belly band in the middle. You do not have to do all this embellishing either. It's just I had this and so I wanted to decorate them. So I couldn't just leave them too plain because, I don't know, I always have to put a bunch of stuff on them, make it fancy. I don't think I finished that one yet. This is that same, the heart layout, I guess. Some ribbon. I don't know why I'm insisting on going up so high. So this is just a couple tags, that kind of thing. I think I showed you all of these. And what I didn't get done was my other paper pack. I have paper, that other paper that I have that I had shown you. It's kind of more of the, oh, here, it's kind of more of this pinkish. It's in our new holiday catalog and Something Wonder. But this one I'll have to do on my own and then show you next week. Show you the samples. I keep coming across more of my samples that I had set aside, but so there you go. I hope this was helpful and inspirational and whatever. I hope you enjoyed it. So I know I really enjoyed it when we had done this for staff day. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it a lot. Not staff day. What am I saying? It was like a staff meeting online with Stampin' Up. Oh, so I would love to see what you come up with. If anybody does this and you want to show me your samples, I would love to see them. It's a lot of fun, and you can just add your own touches, do it your own way. But it's a kind of a fun way to get a big stash made. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great weekend and Friday tomorrow. Hope you're doing well, and we will see you next week. Take care.